Hey guys, and welcome to a weird little episode of Federico Talks Watches. I'm obviously not in my studio. I'm currently in Puerto Rico, sitting in a hotel room. I had to come down for a few days of work, shooting this on my iPhone, even forgot my lavalier mic, so I do apologize about that. But I've been MIA for a few days. I've been traveling back and forth, and I figured I needed to shoot a little something for you guys. Today, I want to talk about 3 more watches or watch brands that I love, but everybody else seems to not quite like. Now, of course, before we get started, customary wristwatch check. Today I'm wearing my Messina Lab Uniracer, a nice little vintage-inspired watch. And we got in a couple of cool, very interesting pieces at Del Rey Watch. We got in a Zenith Rainbow chronograph, full box, full papers. It's kind of their diver's chronograph. I absolutely love that watch. And we got in a Asaoka Bunko Tokyo Mori. I'm pretty sure I butchered that entire name. Very rare green dial. Also at delraywatch.com. Link in the description below. But anyway, guys, everybody knows the super popular brands. Omega, Rolex, Breitling, FP Journal, Patek Philippe. But there's a whole world of other watch brands that are massively underappreciated. And I think that's where the interesting things lie. Because not only do you get great bang for buck, but you get something unique. And discovery is kind of almost the most fun part of this hobby. And I want to talk about 3 brands I think you need to discover that I personally adore, that I think you'd be surprised by. And these are in no particular order. First one is Girard Perregaux. Guys, you know I love GP. I wear my GP Laureato all the time. They make a full gamut of watches, from beautiful dress watches to high complications to extremely rugged sports watches like the Seahawk, or at least they used to make the Seahawk. It's now discontinued. And their iconic Laureato line. A lot of people say, that they've copied AP, but honestly, I think it came out a year or 2 after, and it was in development during the same time. It's a brand with in-house movements that's been around for a large amount of years, that has kind of proven their chops, and this is the only brand on this list I can't figure out why people don't love them. Sure, some of their designs are out there with the Seahawk, but the Laureato is, I think, fairly priced and extremely attractive. Their dress watches are extremely attractive. They've got an impressive kind of CV when it comes to complications. So why do people not love GP? This is one I honestly don't know, and I ask you guys, let me know what you think. Next, it's a brand that has had a little bit of a newer resurgence, but one that I like quite a bit, and that is Jaquet Droz, part of the Swatch Group. Definitely not a well-known brand, but one that I hope makes a lot of waves, because I think they have some very interesting movements, mainly from Frédéric Piguet / manufacturer Blancpain, but the way they kind of use those movements and frame their dials are extremely charming and sleek, in my opinion. They have a few things in their DNA that I love, like non-stitch straps. Not a lot of people do that. Off-center dials. Not a lot of people do that. They do a lot of enamel work, which I think is something which unfortunately is a little bit of a dead art. But Jaquet Droz, if you want a brand that, while not independent, still makes a very small amount of watches and is interesting, I think right now could offer you a ton of bang per buck. And then last but not least, I think the most impressive brand on this list, one that I adore, is Chopard. Guys, don't turn off the video. Yes, Chopard, the jewelry company, the guys that made 1,000 Mille watches with 7750s, the guys charging 12 grand for a mediocrely finished movement in their new Alpine Eagle line. However, they're also the home of LUC Chopard, their high-end version of the brand, which is made with Fleurier quality. We're talking high complications, totally in-house, fantastic use of micro rotors, fantastic finishing, and the 1860 micro rotor, which is one of the first kind of resurgence LUC movements. Philippe Dufour, many argue the greatest living watchmaker on earth, said is one of the finest movements he's ever seen. I mean, perpetual calendars, moon phases, chronographs. I mean, their chronograph, in my humble opinion, not quite, but almost rivals Lange's datograph. I mean, that's what I think. And I think at the market price, LUC is a true contender. I mean, really fantastic hand-finished watches with very interesting complications for a fraction of the price. And Chopard is still a very large name. They just diluted their brand a little bit by making, too many lower-end watches. And actually, I love the Mille Millas as well. I just don't love them at the retail price of $10,000. I think they're $3-4 grand. Used even less is where they belong. But this LUC stuff is some of the highest end watchmaking on the planet today, and I think everybody should check it out. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. I'm going to be back in the studio in a couple of days. Thank you for putting up with me. I really felt guilty for not making a video, but I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and don't forget to subscribe. Anyway, guys, thank you so much, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.